Hello, welcome again to my second video. My name is Edward. I would like to thank you for your comments on my first video on how to achieve success, the introduction. I got a lot of responses and many of them encouraging, many of them quite informative. And in this particular video, I'm going to deal with one of the most important aspects of the initial things that you should do when you think about achieving success, and that is changing your perception. I'd like to first start this video by defining what perception is. Perception, the word perception comes from the word perceive, and that is to see. What do you see in your circumstances and situation, and what is the way you perceive what you want to achieve? And it is important to talk about this first and foremost, because the way you perceive things really makes a difference. Once again, like I said in the first video, perception is everything. If you see yourself as a failure, you will not stand up to do anything. In fact, you will give up and say, I will not waste my time by trying to do anything at all. If you see yourself as someone who just gets by, you're only going to put minimal effort and achieve very little. If you see yourself as a person who is very unfortunate in life and will never amount to anything, you will not, in fact, even bother. And as a result, the issue of aspiring to become something does not even arise with you. But what I am talking about here is, if you want to achieve something big, if you want to be successful, you have to change the way you see things. You have to change your attitude towards a number of things. I'm going to talk about a few things that you really have to adjust the lenses of your life about. You need to change the lenses of your life about the following things. First and foremost, when you change your perception, you need to ask yourself the question, is this goal achievable? Is it possible? As long as you can think about it, it means that to a certain extent it is achievable. Anything that man conceives of is achievable. There are a lot of things in the history of man that all people in those circumstances at that particular time never thought could be achieved. I could give lots of examples. But because there were individuals who were prepared to stretch to the limit, they managed to reach that level of success. They managed to achieve those goals, and they managed to come up with creations, come up with a lot of technology, and come up with a lot of records in the fields of athletics, for example, which surprised a lot of people because they would not give up and because they thought that it was really achievable. It was this attitude that it is achievable, it is realizable, and it is possible. So you need to adjust your perception. You need to adjust your perception. You need to tell yourself that it is achievable, it is realizable. And the second thing that you need to really adjust your lenses about is that ask yourself, do you think it is possible for you to achieve that? You need to ask yourself, you need to address that question and come to the conclusion, yes, I can. I can do it. I can achieve this goal. I can achieve this level of success. If you can convince yourself that, it means you will go for it. If you do the self-talk and tell yourself that you cannot achieve that, then we are defeated before we start. The next thing that I want to also address is, what is the internal conversation that you are having with yourself? What is the kind of self-talk I need to talk about this because this is very important. Sometimes the conversations that we have with ourselves are the ones that are responsible for propelling us into doing the things that we do, positive or negative. What I mean by self-talk is that conversation that you have with yourself. What do you tell yourself about yourself? What do you tell yourself about what you want to do? What do you tell yourself? What is your attitude towards things? You need to adjust that self-talk and make sure it works for you. Tell yourself, continue to talk to yourself and tell yourself and convince yourself that you can achieve the objectives. You can achieve this. Whatever you tell yourself, whatever you continue to talk to yourself about, is going to translate itself and manifest itself into the reality of your life. People who consistently tell themselves negative things about themselves, and people who don't have the self-esteem and don't love themselves, are most likely not really to amount to anything. But when you convince yourself, when your self-talk is adjusted in such a manner that it addresses your self-esteem in the positive direction, this will work in your advantage. The next thing that I want to talk about is ask yourself, are you ready for that transformation? It's very important to address those things because readiness, when you convince yourself that you are ready, it is that sort of attitude that will propel you and push you to really start in your journey of success. If you tell yourself that you're not ready, you're most probably going to either have a tentative start or less than confident beginning, and at the end of the day, you really will not be that effective. You need to convince yourself that you are ready and you are going for it and you are giving it your best shot. The next thing that I need to talk about in terms of changing your perception is, what is your attitude towards opposition? What is your attitude towards challenges and obstruction? You need to address them and tell yourself that you are ready for them and you're going to face them head on and achieve your success. If you don't do that, you really will have, once again, that timid approach to your dream. It's very important that you make sure that you tell yourself that you are ready for the opposition, you are up to it, and you can move on and achieve it. The next thing that I want to talk about in changing your perception is, ask yourself, are you prepared to take that leap of faith? That leap is that attitude that you are going to adopt when you say, now I am going for it. When you can tell yourself that you are ready, then you can do this. But when you continue to make excuses, you will not be able to do this. Last but not least, I would like to emphasize that it's important to adjust your lenses, to adjust your vision, to adjust the way you perceive things. Make sure that you are seeing properly. Make sure that you are preparing the best you can, and making sure that you are ready by changing your perception on your way to success. I wish you good luck. My name is Edward. Have a good day. Thank you.